Life after 40 often feels like standing at the edge of a mirror that reflects both past and future at once. On one side, you see the mistakes, the regrets, the lost chances of youth. On the other, you see a path still open, though narrower, urging you to walk with more wisdom. This is the season when many people realize that the hardest person to forgive is not a parent who was harsh, not a partner who betrayed, not a friend who abandoned, but oneself. Forgiving yourself is not about pretending your mistakes never happened. It is about releasing the grip of shame, guilt, and regret so they no longer control your future. At 40 and beyond, this lesson becomes urgent because the weight of the past grows heavier with age. But the miracle is this: forgiveness is possible, and it can change not only your own life, but the lives of everyone connected to you. Let us walk together through this journey of learning self-forgiveness. We begin with regret. Regret is like a shadow that lengthens as the sun sets. In youth, mistakes seemed small. There was always time to start again. But after 40, time feels shorter and regrets stretch larger. People regret the careers they never pursued, the relationships they destroyed, the opportunities they let pass. Some regret harsh words to their children, realizing too late how those words shaped tender hearts. Others regret financial recklessness, carrying debts that still whisper shame. But regret, though painful, is not the enemy. Regret is a teacher. It points to values you ignored, lessons you skipped, truths you denied. To forgive yourself, you must reframe regret not as a prison, but as tuition paid for wisdom. Ask yourself, what did this mistake teach me about who I am and who I want to be? The moment you see regret as a seed of growth, you loosen its chains. Then comes guilt. Guilt is different from regret. Regret says, I wish I had done differently. Guilt says, I am bad because of what I did. It is heavier, more personal. Guilt gnaws at the soul. After 40, many carry guilt from decades ago. Cheating in a relationship, lying to a friend, neglecting a parent, making choices that harmed others. Sometimes the people involved have forgotten. Sometimes they have forgiven. But you remain the jailer of your own cell. The truth about guilt is that it signals conscience. It proves you care about right and wrong. But when guilt hardens into self-hatred, it loses its purpose. To forgive yourself, you must separate action from identity. You are not your mistake. You are a human being who made a mistake. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Admit it without excuse. And then remind yourself, I am more than this. My story is not finished here. Shame is even deeper. Shame says not only I did wrong, but I am wrong. It convinces you that you are unworthy of love, happiness, or a second chance. Many in midlife live quietly in shame. Shame about a failed marriage, shame about financial collapse, shame about children who went astray, shame about addictions fought in secret. Shame thrives in silence. It shrinks when shared. This is why confession, therapy, support groups, or even heartfelt conversations with a trusted friend can be life-saving. Speaking shame removes its poison. At 40, forgiveness also means facing the body's decline with compassion. Many punish themselves for not staying fit, for ignoring health, for abusing their bodies with stress or substances. They feel ashamed when illness appears, diabetes, hypertension, fatigue. But forgiveness here means, I did not know better, or I did not have the strength then, but I can care for myself now. The body does not need punishment. It needs gentleness. Forgiving yourself also requires forgiving the younger you. The one who was naive, reckless, impatient. The one who chased applause or money and forgot love. The one who ignored advice. That version of you deserves compassion, not contempt. They did the best they could with the awareness they had. When you look at an old photograph of yourself at 20, do you hate that person? Or do you see a child still learning? Treat your younger self with the same tenderness. Another obstacle is perfectionism. Many cannot forgive themselves because they believe they should have been perfect. But perfection was never possible. You were meant to stumble, to fall, to fail. That is how humans grow. Expecting perfection is like punishing a tree for dropping leaves in autumn. It is simply the nature of life. At 40, wisdom is not about being flawless, but about embracing flaws as teachers. Consider the story of Maria, a 50-year-old mother who raised her children while working 2 jobs. She often lost her temper, yelled, and sometimes ignored their emotional needs. Now that her children are grown, she cries remembering how harsh she was. But when she finally apologized, her children hugged her and said, "Mom, we always knew you loved us. You were tired, not unloving." What she thought unforgivable was, in their eyes, human. Forgiveness often requires hearing how others see you, not just how you judge yourself. Another man, David, lost his savings in a reckless investment at 42. He called himself a fool for years. But later he built financial discipline, taught his children about money, and became a mentor for others. His failure became his greatest teaching tool. Forgiveness came when he realized the loss was not wasted. It was converted into wisdom for others. So how do we practice self-forgiveness daily? Start with honesty. Write a letter to yourself describing the mistake, the regret, the shame. Then write another letter, as if from a friend, offering compassion and understanding. Read it aloud. Feel the gentleness. This exercise retrains the mind to speak with kindness. Meditation helps, too. Sit quietly, breathe, and imagine placing your regret in your hands. Then slowly open your hands, releasing it into the air, whispering, "I forgive you." Repeat until the heart begins to believe. Spiritual traditions also offer guidance. In many faiths, forgiveness is seen as divine. To forgive yourself is to agree with God or the universe that you are worthy of mercy. Whether you pray, chant, or sit in silence, surrender the burden to something greater than yourself. Self-forgiveness is not a one-time event. It is a process. Some days you feel free. Other days, the old memory returns. Be patient. Healing takes time. The scar may remain, but the pain lessens. Most importantly, forgiveness is linked to action. It is not enough to say, "I forgive myself." You must live differently. If you regret neglecting health, start walking daily. If you regret harsh words, practice gentleness. If you regret wasted time, spend today wisely. Action proves forgiveness is real. At 40 and beyond, forgiveness also means choosing joy again. Many people punish themselves by refusing happiness. I don't deserve love after my divorce. I don't deserve rest after wasting years. But joy is not a reward for perfection. It is the medicine for imperfection. Allow yourself to laugh, to travel, to dream again. This is how forgiveness takes root. Think of life as a book. At 40, you may feel the early chapters are stained with errors. But the book is not over. You are still writing. Forgiveness is the act of turning the page. You cannot erase what is written, but you can shape what comes next. And sometimes, the most powerful chapters are born from the mistakes of the earlier ones. Imagine standing before a mirror. Look into your own eyes and say, "I am not proud of everything I did, but I am proud of the fact that I am still here, still learning, still trying. I forgive you." Say it again and again until the mirror reflects not only your face but your compassion. Forgiving yourself after 40 is not selfish. It is a gift to your family, your friends, your community. Because a person who forgives themselves becomes softer, kinder, more open. They no longer project their hidden shame onto others. They can listen without judgment, love without fear, and live without chains. In the end, forgiveness is freedom. Freedom from the past, freedom to live fully in the present, freedom to hope for the future. You cannot go back and rewrite your 20s or 30s. But you can choose today to stop stabbing yourself with memories. You can choose to breathe, to rest, to smile again. After 40, this is perhaps the greatest wisdom. Life is too short to be your own enemy. Forgive yourself, not to erase the past, but to embrace the future with open arms.